Hey, what's up, Chris? This is a demo video for you for your mystery saber. So if you're watching this, it arrived safely. This is a little bit different than what I usually do. I'm not used to the mystery saber setup, so I'm making this video ahead of time and setting it off to the side and I'm just waiting to hear from you to make sure that you got this guy. So here is your saber. As you've got it in your hands from Nevin over at Space Junk Sabers. This is installed with a Proffie V2. This is a 2-button setup. So what I did is I went in here and I modified this clamp box, and I put your activation is going to be right here in the middle. You can hear that. And then your auxiliary is back here. You can hear that tactile right there. And then you've got CC Sabers LED pixels in here. And then this saber only opens up from the back. So we did a little something different. Over at Smuggler's Outpost that I'm a part of, we've got this 14-pin PCB set that allows us to make a wireless disconnect chassis. So what we want to do is we want to unscrew this guy. And then you'll see this. So here's your speaker, and you've got a handle on it right here. This handle is to assist you in just pulling it out slightly till you get about that far, and then you can pull it out the rest of the way. And this is what you're going to pull out. So if you look in here, if you can barely see it in the light, you've got the female PCB back there with all the traces on it, right? Those traces, or that trace right there has the wires for both of your switches. It has the wires for your NeoPixel connector. Everything's right there in that chassis, and it never moves. And that connects to these 14 pins right here. So what we've got here is we've got your Proffie board right here. This is a tight press fit down into the shelf. It's not glued. So you do have a shelf right here with easy access to your micro USB, but you will need to pop this board up to get to your SD card, and then you can squeeze and pop the board back down into the shelf right there. You're going to want to make sure you back it all the way up though, so that your SD card clears this shelf right here. You see how I barely got it right there. It's a very tight fit. Everything's here. I mean, I got about probably 9 or 10 wires or so coming off the back of this PCB where these pins are at and up into the board underneath. So a lot of wires going on right here, all right? And then you've got your removable battery system. So your spring side right here, that's going to be your negative. And then the other side is your positive. Don't ever put your battery in backwards. You'll fry the board. And then you'll see that I've got NeoPixel strips going all the way around this chassis. And the reasoning for that is because you have a greebly or a lens right here that I wanted you to be able to light up. But because you can put this chassis in any way, I didn't want you to have to clock the chassis a certain way to get that to light up. So my best fix for that was to just light the whole side of this guy up. And it works out pretty well. So you've got that, and then you've got a 28mm bass speaker back here. And then of course you've got your handle over it, but the handle's far enough out where it doesn't interfere with the speaker drum and you don't get any sound distortion. It does say, your chassis will say Space Junk Sabers right here, and then Solo Sabers over here in Arabish. Everything's been sanded down to give it a nice tight slide in and out, but still keep everything firm, because these pins need to line up exactly with the inside traces here, or if one pin is off by just a little bit, it could fry everything. So it's a tight fit. And I'll show you how to put it in the best way. So we're gonna take our battery, we're gonna put it in. You're gonna hear that. Now what I like to do is I'll take the top of the board, and you can see where your gribbly lights up. I just kind of cock this over to the left, right? So we're gonna put the top of the board about 3 o'clock over from that gribbly. I've put this chassis in all kinds of ways, and it just seems like for whatever reason, this is the best way it likes to slide in. So that means that this piece right here is facing up and facing up to your board, just like that. So we're gonna slide the chassis in. Remember, it's a firm fit, but it goes in. Just like that. You're gonna get to about right here. You get about that much sticking out. that is where the springs start for the pins. I made it that long on purpose because when we screw this on, it'll actually push up against this handle and it engages all of those pins. And that's what we're gonna do right now. So we're gonna screw this on. You're gonna get about 3/4 of the way on. You're gonna feel a little bit of pressure. Keep screwing it on. And we're gonna tighten it down all the way, down till we get right there. Now all the 14 pins up here have been engaged. You have motion control. So we could go like that, right? You got your LEDs working good here. Auxiliary. And then we twist off. Just like that. Now I've got a 1-inch test blade we're gonna put it in. This Saber does take a 1-inch diameter blade. You'll find 3 screws around here that look exactly the same, but one's gonna be sticking out slightly. That is your blade retention. So we're gonna put this blade all the way in. Give me just a second. And we're going to tighten down your blade retention. This blade socket is tight. So if you have a brand new blade, you might find that you need to do some sanding. This is an old test blade of mine and it's still fitting in here pretty snug. So that means a brand new blade is going to be tight because I've sanded this guy quite a bit. But that's okay, right? It holds the blade very well. So we tighten down our blade retention, swing on. You can see everything's working well. This is lighting up very well because we've got those LEDs all the way around the chassis. You've even got some shine through here, which wasn't intentional, but it looks pretty cool. And we tap for blast or deflect. Hold it for blade lockup. Tap our auxiliary when the blade is off to change sound fonts. Activation, we can use the button if we like. Now these LEDs are wired in line with your blade. So whatever color your blade or whatever effect your blade has, you're gonna find that here as well. So if we can find one that's got a little bit different of an blade style. Okay, so this fire blade right here is a perfect example, right? Nice fire blade. You're gonna have that animation right here on your lens as well. And then of course you'll see that back here as well. Everything's nice and tight, stays in place because this pommel cap locked everything down. Twist off. Change sound fonts. Just a solid red. Blaster deflect. Or we could hold down the button to turn it off. It's a nice like blue fire blade. You're seeing that in your lens as well. And back here. Flash on clash works well. That chassis is not going out of line at all. So those pins and everything, it's locked into place very tightly. And then we could just twist off if we want. We'll go another one. Nice green blade, green lens, green shine through. Nice smooth swing. Flash on clash. Twist off. So now we're going to take the blade back out. We'll just loosen this guy up a little bit. You'll know which one it is because it just sticks out a little, slightly more than the other two. Otherwise, you'd be guessing all the time which 3 of those were your blade retention. So we're gonna take that out. To take everything back out, we're just gonna unscrew this guy. This doesn't happen a whole lot, but it has happened while I was testing it. If you go to pull on this guy and you feel that it's tight, do not yank it so much. You can just give it a slight twist and then pull it out. You know, like I said, the tolerances in this guy, it had to be super on point because, you know, whenever you're using something like this and these two guys have to match up to make everything work correctly, everything's got to be perfect. And in order to be perfect, the tolerances have to be tight. So when we get this chassis out, all we want to do is from the positive side, you're actually going to want to take a tool or something. I didn't bring one out here with me. Maybe I can get it with this Allen key. Yeah, I was able to do it with the Allen key. And then just pop it out from the positive side and then take your battery out. And then easy enough to put back in. I put this back in the same way I put it in if it had a battery in it. We'll just put it in, you know, with this guy facing up. And then you don't have to force it, just twist it. If you're putting it in one way and you feel some resistance, give it a twist just like that and goes in. This is meant to be put in anyway, but I'm just sharing with you some tricks I found along the way for certain places that go in easier when testing this guy out. But anyway, sir, that is your Saber. I hope it turned out the way you liked. Thanks.